Silent boy picks the mic, what he sings next shocks the whole world. The auditorium buzzed with chatter, laughter, and the restless energy of high school students waiting for the annual talent show to begin. Lights flashed, curtains swayed, and the crowd leaned forward with popcorn and soda, eager for entertainment. Among the contestants sat a boy few noticed, Ethan, the quiet one. He was the kind of student people passed in the hall without greeting, the kind teachers often forgot to call on, the kind who always sat in the back corner of class with headphones dangling from his pocket but never in his ears. To most, he was invisible. To himself, he was silent because silence was safer. Ethan had grown up in a home where words were weapons. His father's voice had thundered anger, his mother's had cracked from exhaustion, and Ethan had learned early that speaking up meant inviting more pain. So he stayed quiet. Even after his father left and his mother worked double shifts to hold their small apartment together, Ethan carried that silence like a shield. Nobody at school knew the depth of his loneliness or that the one place he poured his heart was into music. In his room at night, with the door locked, he sang softly into an old second-hand microphone his mother had once bought him at a thrift shop. His voice was his secret, his escape. When Ethan's name appeared on the talent show sign-up sheet, most students thought it was a mistake. Silent Ethan. He can't even talk in class, let alone sing, some laughed. Others shrugged and forgot about it. But Ethan knew why he had signed up. It wasn't for fame or approval. It was because his mother had told him once, through tired eyes, "I just want to see you happy, Ethan. Don't hide forever. Show the world what's inside you." Those words had stayed with him, whispering louder than fear. The show rolled on. Students cheered at dancers, clapped politely for magicians, and whistled for comedians. Then the MC called, "Next up, Ethan Carter." A hush fell over the crowd, followed by a few muffled giggles. Ethan walked slowly to the stage, clutching the microphone with trembling hands. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might give out before he even began. The spotlight blinded him, and for a moment, silence swallowed the room. It felt like every insecurity, every cruel word he'd endured was pressing against him, daring him to run. Then Ethan closed his eyes. He thought of his mother, working late in a diner just so he could afford school supplies. He thought of the little boy he once was, hiding in his room, dreaming of being free. And he thought of the music, the way it had saved him every night, pulling him back from despair. Slowly, he lifted the microphone and began to sing. The first note was soft, almost hesitant, but it carried something raw and pure that silenced every whisper in the room. His voice rose, weaving through the auditorium like a river breaking through stone. It wasn't just powerful, it was soulful, aching, and beautiful in a way that made hearts tighten. The students who had mocked him stared wide-eyed, jaws slack. Teachers leaned forward, stunned. Even the judges forgot their pens. Ethan sang as if every hidden part of his soul had finally been set free. He sang about pain and survival, about hope rising from brokenness, about love being stronger than fear. His voice carried the story of a boy who had been silent too long but refused to be silenced anymore. When he reached the climax of the song, he poured every ounce of himself into a soaring note that seemed to hang in the air, vibrating with truth. Many in the audience felt tears burning their eyes without knowing why. It was as if he had given voice to the pain and dreams inside them too. When the last note faded, the auditorium stayed silent, not because they were unimpressed, but because they were overwhelmed. Then, suddenly, the room erupted. Students jumped to their feet, clapping, cheering, whistling. Some screamed his name. A few cried openly. Even the principal wiped at his eyes. For Ethan, the sound was unreal. For the first time in his life, he felt seen, truly seen. The video of his performance, recorded on shaky phones, spread like wildfire. Within days, Ethan's song was shared across social media, drawing millions of views. People all over the world commented, "This gave me goosebumps. I haven't cried like this in years." This boy's voice healed something in me. Ethan, the silent boy from a small town, had unknowingly touched the entire world with his gift. But the most important moment wasn't the applause or the viral fame. It was when Ethan walked off stage and saw his mother waiting in the wings, apron still on from the diner, tears streaming down her face. She hugged him so tightly he thought he might break. "That's my boy," she whispered. "You finally let them hear you." That night, Ethan realized something profound. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is simply finding the strength to share your voice. And sometimes, in doing so, you don't just change your own life, you awaken hope in others too. Ethan's journey didn't end there. Opportunities flooded in, but he never forgot where he came from. He used his voice not just for music but for kindness, for speaking up for others who felt unseen, reminding them that silence doesn't define worth. His story became more than about a boy who shocked the world. It became about how love, resilience, and courage can turn the quietest voice into the loudest song of hope. And so, the silent boy who once hid in shadows became a beacon of light for millions, proving to the world that no voice is too small to make a difference.